Why your hardest season might be your softest strategy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I want to welcome you to a conversation that will challenge everything you thought you knew about strength, survival, and success. Today, I had the profound honor of sitting down with Mecca-Willi Vinegar, a mother, a warrior, and a living testament to the power of choosing softness in the middle of a storm. Mecca-Willi and their daughter have walked through homelessness, chronic pain, racism, retaliation, and systemic neglect. And yet, they have built something sacred between them, and a bond rooted in love, faith, and mutual care. They are making the world a better place simply by refusing to let hardship harden their hearts. And what they shared with me, what they entrusted me to bring to you today, is nothing short of revolutionary. So let me ask you something. When you hear the phrase soft girl era, what comes to mind? Maybe you think of aesthetics, pastels, silk bonnets, bubble baths, and vision boards. Maybe you think it's something you get to do after you've made it, after the trauma is healed, the lawsuit is settled, the bank account is full, the pain is gone. Maybe you think softness is a luxury reserved for people whose lives are already easy. But here's what Mecca Willie taught me. And here's what I want to challenge you with today. Softness is not a reward you earn after you survive. Softness is a strategy you choose while you're still in the fight. Let me say that again because I need you to hear this. Softness is not a reward you earn after you survive. Softness is a strategy you choose while you're still in the fight. Mecca Willie and their daughter became homeless on April 1st, 2025, after enduring 3 winters without heat in an apartment complex that retaliated against them for speaking up. When Mecca Willie called the news to expose the negligence, the complex showed its true colors and they were forced out. They lived in their car. They lived in hotels when someone was kind enough to donate. They ended up in a homeless shelter. Mecca Willie is still fighting chronic pain from a slip and fall at that same complex. Their daughter has a special need, functional neurological disorder, which causes her head and neck to shake. And yet, their daughter works. She takes care of them. And through it all, they have protected something precious, their peace, their bond, their softness. Now, let me be clear. This is not a story about pretending life is easy. This is a story about refusing to let a hard life harden your heart. For Black women, especially, we are conditioned to believe that if we are not in grind mode 24/7, we are lazy, ungrateful, or weak. We are taught that survival requires us to be hard, to be strong, to carry everyone and everything, to never rest, to never say no, to never protect our own peace. We are taught that softness is something we can afford only after we've proven ourselves, only after we've sacrificed enough, only after we've earned it. But what Mecca Willie's story proves is this. You can be homeless and still have standards and boundaries. You can be in chronic pain and still honor your body instead of betraying it for hustle. You can be fighting racism and still cultivate joy, softness, and spiritual grounding. You can be in survival mode and still practice softness in how you speak to yourself, how you care for your loved ones, and how you claim your worth. The soft girl era is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. It's not about pretending life is easy. It's about refusing to let a hard life harden your heart. Now, I want to share with you 3 key insights from my conversation with Mecca Willie. 3 truths that I believe can transform the way you move through your work, your relationships, and your life. The first insight is this: softness is a discipline, not a personality trait. For Black professionals and entrepreneurs, softness shows up as how you structure your work, how you advocate for yourself, and how you protect your mental and physical health, even in the face of racism, retaliation, and instability. It's something you practice, not something you either have or don't. Let me tell you about Rachel Rogers. Rachel is a Black woman entrepreneur and the founder of Hello 7, a company that helps women, particularly women of color, build wealth. Rachel grew up with economic instability. She watched her family struggle financially. She navigated racism and sexism in the legal and business world. And she realized she was reproducing grind culture in her own life, working extreme hours, burning out, over delivering for clients, all while telling other women they deserved better. One day she looked in the mirror and had to ask herself a hard question. How can I teach women to stop overworking when I'm killing myself doing the exact same thing? So she made a choice. She pivoted from traditional legal services to a business model that prioritized scalability, boundaries, and quality of life. She built Hello 7 around the idea that women, especially Black women, deserve both wealth and well being. She set strict boundaries around her time, her pricing, and who she works with. She actively rejected hustle culture. And she created content and programs that teach women of color to stop undercharging, stop overworking, and build sustainable businesses. The result? She grew Hello 7 into a multi-million dollar company. She became a thought leader on women's wealth, particularly for Black women entrepreneurs. She helped thousands of women, many of them Black and brown, dramatically increase their income while working in more aligned and sustainable ways. She demonstrated that softness in the form of boundaries, pricing that reflects your value, and rejecting grind culture is not a weakness, but a pathway to greater impact and income. Rachel's story shows us that softness is not about being passive or weak, it's about being intentional. It's about designing your life and your work in a way that honors your humanity, your health, and your worth. The second insight is this: your boundaries are part of your survival strategy. When Mecca-Willi called the news about the apartment, when they refused to endure 3 more winters without heat, when they insisted on safety for their daughter, those were boundary decisions. In business and at work, boundaries might look like saying no to exploitative clients, documenting discrimination, seeking legal support, or refusing to let people gaslight your reality. Boundaries are not you being difficult, they are you choosing life. Let me share another story. The Kapor Center conducted research on Black women in the tech industry, a field where they are heavily underrepresented and often face racism, sexism, and isolation. The research shows that unfair treatment is the single largest driver of tech employees leaving their jobs, with people of color and women disproportionately affected. Black women in tech experience both racial and gender bias, including isolation, stereotyping, and lack of support or promotion. The emotional and psychological toll leads to high attrition, burnout, and sometimes leaving the industry altogether. But here's what's powerful: many Black women who remain in advance do so by embracing soft practices. They set boundaries on work hours and emotional labor. They seek culturally competent mental health support. They join or form communities and professional networks for Black women in tech. They document discrimination and leverage human resources, legal support, or public accountability when necessary. And when environments become too toxic, they leave for companies that honor their humanity and expertise. Black women who take these steps report improved well being, stronger professional networks, and better alignment between their values and work. Organizations that respond by implementing equity, inclusion, and accountability measures see improved retention and employee satisfaction. And the tech industry is slowly forced to confront the cost of driving out Black women talent. This research legitimizes what Black women have long reported: hostile environments harm their health and careers, and leaving or setting hard boundaries is often an act of self preservation. For our listeners, this underscores that preserving your softness through boundaries, community, and exit strategies is a valid and necessary professional move, especially in racist or retaliatory environments. The third insight is this: your relationships can be your greatest asset, personally and professionally. The bond between Mecca-Willi and their daughter is a powerful model: mutual care, shared responsibility, deep love, and spiritual covering. For our listeners, that translates into building relationships with family, team members, mentors, or communities that are rooted in trust, reciprocity, and shared values. The right relationships can carry you through seasons when money is low, health is challenged, or systems are stacked against you. Let me tell you about Trisha Hersey. Trisha is a Black woman artist and theologian who founded the NAP Ministry, a movement that frames rest as a form of resistance to capitalism and white supremacy. It centers Black people, especially Black women, as deserving of rest, softness, and care. Even in the midst of struggle and scarcity, Black women disproportionately experience overwork, stress related health issues, and economic precarity. Historical narratives portray Black women as endlessly strong, self sacrificing, and tireless, mules of families, workplaces, and movements. Many feel guilty or unsafe resting, especially when facing financial hardship, racism, or caregiving responsibilities. Trisha's work grew out of her own experience of burnout and exhaustion in graduate school and activism. As she learned more about the history of Black bodies as labor, she began experimenting with rest as a spiritual and political practice. What started as small installations and gatherings grew into a global movement centered on the belief that Black people are worthy of rest simply because they exist. The NAP ministry uses public art, workshops, and teachings to invite Black people to reclaim rest as a human right. It explicitly links rest to healing from trauma, resisting grind culture, and restoring dignity. Trisha frames rest as theology and justice, not laziness, especially for Black women whose bodies have been exploited for labor for centuries. The concept of rest as resistance has gone viral, resonating deeply with Black women professionals and entrepreneurs. Many report incorporating intentional rest, naps, and slower rhythms into their lives and businesses. The NAP ministry has influenced conversations in workplaces, wellness spaces, and social justice movements about how Black women are treated and how they treat themselves. This movement normalized the idea that Black women do not have to earn softness or rest through suffering or success. It provided language and frameworks that entrepreneurs and professionals use to redesign their work lives with more spaciousness and gentleness. And it directly supports the idea that even in homelessness, pain, or legal fights, you are still worthy of rest, tenderness, and care. So here's what I want you to take away from today: softness is a discipline, it's something you practice every single day in how you structure your work, how you advocate for yourself, and how you protect your mental and physical health. Your boundaries are part of your survival strategy. They are not you being difficult, they are you choosing life. And your relationships, the ones rooted in trust, reciprocity, and shared values, can carry you through seasons when money is low, health is challenged, or systems are stacked against you. Mecca-Willi and their daughter are living proof that you do not have to wait for your life to be fixed before you begin living in your soft girl era. You can choose softness right now, in the middle of the storm, as a form of resistance, as a form of survival, as a form of love. So let me leave you with this. I don't want you to wait until you get home to think about this. I don't want you to nod your head, clap politely, and then go back to the grind. I want you to do something radical right now. Close your eyes for a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself this question: If I believed as fully that I am worthy of softness right now, even with everything I'm carrying, what is one concrete boundary or act of rest I would commit to this week to protect my peace? Now open your eyes. I want you to write that boundary down, not later. Now tell at least one trusted person who can lovingly hold you accountable. Then, for the next 7 days, honor it like you would honor a contract with a client or a court deadline. Notice how your body, your spirit, and your work respond. This isn't about perfection. This is about proving to yourself in real time that you do not have to wait for your life to be fixed before you begin living in your soft girl era. Because here's the truth they don't want you to know: the system needs you exhausted, it needs you overworked, it needs you too tired to dream, too depleted to demand more, too broken to believe you deserve better. But softness is your rebellion. Softness is your revolution. Softness is how you take your power back. So I'm not asking you to be soft someday. I'm challenging you to be soft today, right now, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the pain, in the middle of the fight. Because if Mecca-Willi can choose softness while homeless, if Rachel can build millions while honoring her boundaries, if Trisha can turn rest into resistance, then so can you. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be to start choosing softness as your strategy. So go ahead, choose you, protect your peace, honor your boundaries, rest without apology, love without explanation, and watch how the world shifts when you refuse to let a hard life harden your heart. Thank you.